Hi, BC family. Welcome to your midweek devotion. I wanted to talk to you guys today about recovering all. So in 1 John 4:4, it says, "Let little children, you are of God's, you belong to Him and have already defeated and overcome them, agents of the Antichrist, spiritual forces, because He who lives in you is greater, mightier than he who is in this world." So I just want that to sink in a little bit today, that greater is He who lives in you. Greater is He that lives in you. Hagen once said, if you're a born-again, spirit-filled believer, you have in your ready, for your use, everything you will ever need to put you over. The divine potential of all that power that there is lives in you. Isn't that what we just read in 1 John 4:4? That the greater one lives in you. That means that whenever a crisis happens, the first words out of our mouths should be, I'm a victor. I am more than a conqueror. The greater one lives in me. The creator of this world lives in me. I can't fail. The greater one will cause me to prosper, to succeed, to be triumphant, right? If we can begin to really grasp that reality and we begin to confess this and truly believe it, sow it deep down in our hearts and water it and cultivate it, then Hagen also said that the greater one will then rise up and give illumination to our minds, direction to our spirit, and health to our bodies in every aspect of our lives. Think about that. When you really start to cultivate and understand that the greater one lives in us, the more we grow that truth in us, the more that truth will start to illuminate things to our minds, give directions to our spirit, and health to our bodies. Jehoshaphat, whom you've heard me talk about a few times, knew that he didn't have the answers to every crisis, right? He didn't have the answers to the armies that were attacking him and everything that was in front of him, but he turned and went straight to the one who did. King David, when he returned from the war in 1 Samuel 30 and found that everyone had been taken and the town had burned, it said he encouraged himself in the Lord. Why is he doing this, right? Because he was stirring up that power. He was getting guidance and direction, because no matter what it looked like, and it didn't look good, he knew that with God, nothing was impossible. And it says at the end of David's story, right in verses 6 through 19 of 1 Samuel 30, really powerful things. And I'm going to sum up those verses for you really quick. It says, but David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And God answered him, pursue, for you will surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away. And David rescued his 2 wives, and there was nothing lacking to them, neither small or great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that had been taken. David recovered all. I want you to remember that part. He recovered all. He recovered all, right? And get this, he didn't even have God living in him. We have that privilege. We have one up on King David. He had a relationship with God, but he didn't have him living in him. That wasn't gifted to us until after Jesus died on the cross. In 2 Corinthians 6:16, it says, for you are the temple of the living God. As God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. So we need to be so aware of the very real fact that God lives in us. So many times it's easy to forget this. We forget it when we say things like, well, I can't do that, and this will never happen, and it's impossible, and you just don't understand the circumstances that I am. And yes, in this world, we can't fix everything, right? We can't do things on our own. But when we truly grasp that God is in us, then we realize He is greater than anything this world can dish out. All things are possible with Him. And we can stop saying, I can't, and it won't, and start saying, I can, do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. When you're standing there staring down these impossible odds, depressing situations, I want you to remember that you can encourage yourself like King David, sing praises like Jehoshaphat. And you can do those things in the midst of your storm, in the midst of your battle, because the greater one dwells in you. He lives in you, and he will put you over. He will make you a success. He will restore. He will heal, and he will cause you to recover all. So this week, as you go about your week, I want you to remember that. And just tell yourself every day, the greater one lives in me. He will cause me to be triumphant. I can recover all. I mean, King David's situation looked horrible. How could you ever come back from something like that? Yet he knew that with God, all things were possible. Have a great week. Bye.